Y'all ready to call this meeting to order?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is a continued meeting on, and the only thing we continued the meeting for was for the purpose of passing the 2022-23 budget. So we'll call the meeting to order. I'll entertain a motion, or do you have any questions? Yes, ma'am. So Lisa, you made all the suggested
I made the suggested
changes.
Now, what'd you do in the notes, you said?
The notes we took out, there was a line for SROs, I was asked to take it out. And then there was also a line for a possible change in the organizational chart in the engineers department. And I
Correct.
took those out because those have not been decided or voted on or passed at this
Right.
point. So those are out, and everything else on left exactly the same as we had last meeting. I can give you just kind of a brief synopsis of what's been changed
Okay.
from last time. Workers' comp has all been changed. We had about 17,000, I think it was 212, that was being refunded in this coming year for differences in our rate that actually went down.
And just explain to them how much when you're looking at all the departments, I want you to hear this part. Sometimes I like to look at the total number because it's all scattered around through all these departments. But what it is, it was 57,800 right there at it. But we come down to 48. So when you look at that number, plus the money you're getting back, so really the amount is down plus the 17 we're getting, correct?
It was down 9,000, but also we had some, because of the investment part portion of that, we actually got a total of 17,000 that's coming back to us. Just on workers' comp, it's not on liability, so
Right.
insurance, and all that. We'll get something on that too.
Which that was on there.
Yeah, that's also on there, but that's not part of this workers' comp.
Because when we was talking about, we're having to increase that workers' comp, it sort of sounded like all of a sudden we're going in the wrong direction. But when you look at the total number, it just went up a lot in the sheriff's budget.
Well, what it really did was, last year was budgeted so low for the workers' comp that it looks like we have a big increase, but we really do not. It is
Right.
exactly the amount that we can figure on workers' comp, the percentages for each employee, and every position's different. Even within a department, the percentages are different on workers' comp depending on your job, okay? So it's based on your job. When you take that number, that final number of what everything should cost you, you take the 17 off, then it's divided up amongst the departments that way. So,
And last year is that. So last year in the budget, did we put in 48,000 for workers' comp or not? Okay, so how much did we put in total in the budget?
I don't know what the total was.
Because see, then we got an increase. Because if you're looking at, we don't have an increase because that's supposed to be the number. You can say it that way, but at the end of the day, you can't say that we didn't have an increase. See what I'm
We have
saying?
a budgeted increase.
Yeah.
Because the budget last year did not reflect.
Right.
No discount.
So let me ask you this, the $17,000 we're getting back, does that make up the difference that we're gonna be pretty close to even for what, was it $17,000 more from last year?
It's a good bit more. I don't know if that 79 is more than that.
We got 12,000 and something last year back. This year we got 17.
But it's not enough to make up the difference between what was budgeted. So like if you look at the
Yeah,
engineers.
that's real simple what I'm saying. If we bid $50,000 last year when it should have been 60, okay, then you got $7,000 to get you 17,000 to make it right if it was 60. But I'm just trying to find out, what I'm trying to ask is, that's the reason why I'm asking you that total number. I don't care what the sheriff's department is doing or anybody else. I'm asking you, if we're paying $50,000 last year, but we didn't budget $50,000, so then that's got to be made up in this year's budget, right now, today. So,
I understand what you're asking. I don't know the total number of workers' comp that was budgeted for last year. If you look at all the departments, I just know
No, listen to me now, listen. Don't worry about your budget, just worry about, say, my bill last year for workers' comp was, say it's 67,000, or 47, or 48,000, whatever that number is that what you think it's gonna be for this year?
we know what it is for this year.
Okay, so we only budgeted for this year what? Total.
We budgeted for it would be the 48.
Okay, so we voted, so we did budget enough money for the total amount.
For this year, yes.
Right, that's what I'm after, I'm just saying, I just wanna make sure that we had the money in there to pay our bill, because then it did have a big increase.
What I'm talking about really is just comparisons, and that's, I've spent weeks now comparing budgets, budget from last year, budget this year, back and forth, trying to make sure that the proper amount is in this budget for this year.
Right,
And it looks like we are putting a lot more into workers' comp, but we're really not. We're taking our numbers from this year that we know that we've already gotten, and taking off a refund that we know we've already been shown what we're gonna get, and then I put those numbers into the property.
well, the only thing that was rattling me a little bit was there enough money in there last year's budget? Or the budget we're working on right now, was there enough money in there to cover workers' comp? And then, and I know you put enough in there to cover next year, because it's, what did you say, 67,000 or 48,000? 48,000, so if they budgeted 48,000 in 2022, we're good to go, and if we're budgeting 48,000 for 23, we're good to go too. But, you know, so I'm just saying, what you're saying is, if we got 12,000, like Ms. Cobb said back last year, right, is what you said. So then if they budgeted 33 or 36,000 with that $12,000 refund, you still was good last year. Is that what we're saying? Because I know they cut and added because they was, you know, pushing for raises is basically what all happened.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I was trying to get to
I understand.
is there an increase or not an increase? So,
On the engineer, looks like you went back in there and we changed some of that, so it lowered.
yeah.
I noticed it was, we had it at 846 instead. His employees' salaries and wages came down.
Yes, ma'am, and the reason that is I actually got back with Emily today, and I suspected, just by looking at how much increase there was, that we had actually, they have actually requested a change in the organizational chart. It has not been presented to the commission, and it has not been passed. So I went back to those numbers, and I put the original numbers that just reflects just what the pay study did, and to make sure that there was nothing in there for any organizational changes, and that's what dropped that down. And it was a fair amount. It was fairly significant.
If there's
Because when I first started doing
anything that
this,
comes
I
into
didn't-
this building where anybody wants any more money, it needs to come before the commission.
And I understand that, and I wasn't trying to bypass, I put it in here for your approval, and then I actually had, on the notes, that was in there if the organizational chart was approved. Because I actually thought it would come up at this past meeting, and that it would be approved if you wanted to approve it before the budget would be approved. But since it did not, I did go back and check, and everything is where it should be now, and that helped a lot, because if you look at the summary pages at the end, you can see how much of a deficit the,
It was
Yes.
$100,000 there.
it's,
He's also got $100,000 from the federal money,
he got
forestry
100,000.
money.
We had budgeted for him to get 75,000 in FY 22, he actually got 100. That's for the federal forest money. That's money that we have a portion that we put aside for Title III funds, and then the remaining portion of it, which was about 200,000, half goes to the Board of Education and half goes to gas money. So we just sent a check to the Board of Education for $100,000 for that.
When did that occur? When did that occur?
The extra 25
Yeah.
this year, right?
Just got the check about 2 weeks ago. is we actually just sent out the Board of Education's check with this AP that we did Friday. That's what I did.
That's how the way he moved it in, it went into the gas line fund,
Yes.
but it's restricted to what he can use it for.
Well, I mean, to the,
Yeah,
Yes.
it's Title IV.
well, it's Title I. Title I is not as strict. The Title III part stays in our general fund, and it's about 32,000. And then 100,000 and it's really close to 100,000, like $100,008, I think, went to Board of Education, and the same amount would be transferred over to the gas tax fund. That Title
So
I
we
is
just
not
sent that
limited
check
like
out
that.
last week.
Yes,
That's
we sent the Board of Education their check on Friday, and today I will actually be doing the transfer to the gas tax. I haven't done it yet. We just got checks out Friday and then haven't permitted anything.
I thought we was out of the supernumerary paying, right?
Is there one last widow of the supernumerary that's getting paid? What
I'm not
page
sure
you on?
what the-
Page 6,
Of
sheriff budget. Oh, we done outlived that. 6,
It's Miss Norton
that's right.
Jackson widow.
It is what it is.
She gets half of that.
She gets half of that?
He gets half of his
Yeah.
supernumerary.
Yeah, okay. That was the only thing I had flagged on that page. Now, you took out the cars, we're gonna figure out the cars after the fact, correct?
I did take out the cars, that was one of the things from last meeting. We really didn't change much of anything other than workers' comp, the car out of the sheriff's budget, and the notes changes is pretty much the only changes we made.
So just let me flip through each page.
And then I did, like I said, I did go back and check and change the engineer's salary lines. After talking to Emily about it. And because of the few changes that we've made, it did change the page that's right behind your title page. That estimated reserve area did increase, and it did because we cut some expenses by cutting out some of the engineer expenses and the vehicle. So that made a difference in that number also.
Okay. Gosh. Almost 7 million.
64 to 68. so-
Right, and a little bit of it was because, like, I'm having to do a lot of anticipated numbers. And like, I went back to that, anticipated number for the gas tax for that 75 and changed it to 100, because we know what it is now. So that it's no longer anticipated revenue, we know what that revenue is. So that, I just was trying to give you the most accurate number that I could going into this. And a whole-
Well, I'm happy with it,
Yeah,
Lisa.
anticipated.
Everything was still, I said, my only question was, the engineer.
You happy? I am. I'll make a motion we pass this thing.
I second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Owens, second by Ms. Cobb. We do have a quorum note. So, any other discussion? All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The three that are
I'll
here.
go put that one in my folder. You don't have the date on it?
That we just passed. I said,
4-0.
Yeah,
Put that one in my folder.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion with adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor saying aye?
Ayes have it.
He's running.
Next year, we're gonna pass budget.